In Texas, there were $286 billion worth of claims, almost 16,000 injuries. Just think in Texas, every 56 seconds, there's an insurance claim. They have over 286 billion miles driven in 2019 to 2020 alone. Out of the 15,000 plus almost 16,000 accidents, people were injured. And on top of that, 3,600 people died in these traffic violations and accidents. So Texas is a little bit tougher to insure because mainly of the largeness of the state, but also the companies there that want to be there can't necessarily keep the rates where they want them to be. So in today's video, we're gonna talk about the different options you have for Texas, and let's go over who's gonna be the best insurance to go with. Now, I pulled up an article from Bankrate, and I'm gonna add to pieces of this just because they didn't go into depth very much with each company. I'm not gonna go into the specifics of each company, but what I'll do is I'll link the reviews that I have on them. So if there's a company mentioned in the description below, you're gonna see a link to watch the actual full review where you can see all the details and the opinions and the rankings that people have given the companies overall. We're gonna compare them head to head. There was 5 companies that Bankrate said were good, and I'm gonna add a 6th because it happens to come a lot when you guys are asking questions on this channel where I recommend an additional company. Make sure you stay till the end because I'm also gonna give you some tips on how to lower the payments as well as some discounts that you should be looking at in Texas that are gonna give you those best options to get the best rates with the company that you're looking for. So starting in last, which if you look at other websites like NerdWallet and different companies that do reviews, these guys are normally 1. They're usually the best one as far as cost, but we're not just looking at cost, we're looking at best companies. So overall, what are the claims like? How quickly are they taken care of? What's the service level? It's called a Net Promoter Score. It's what you as a customer would rank a company between the app that they have, the website they use, the price you pay for the insurance, and how quickly they serviced your claim, and was it a pleasant experience? Allstate is the one that's coming in last out of these 6 companies that doesn't necessarily need to be in that position. It depends on the age. If you're a younger 25 or younger driver, you're probably gonna lean towards them because they're very competitive there. Now, they got ranked a 3.6 out of 5 stars according to Bankrate. Their JD Power ranking was pretty decent. Out of 1,000 score points, they scored 832. Nationwide, who is a company that I actually like to go with, they're a little bit picky on some stuff, but not so much on auto, was in that 4th spot. They were ranked 4.2 out of 5 stars, and according to JD Power, 820 out of 1,000 stars. State Farm is definitely the competitor to Allstate. If you haven't watched the comparative video where I had them go head to head, I will link that here as well. But State Farm came in 3rd with a very powerful score of 4.4 out of 5. The Bankrate score was 844 out of 1,000. They overall were a very powerful company that I personally in Texas, even for young drivers, would recommend that you check out in that bank of companies that we're gonna mention. The 2nd spot and the probably best spot for some people was Geico Insurance. And I know I'm gonna get the comments below, and I welcome them. Put them down below and let me know your experience. Because Geico is a large company, they have a lot of positive and a lot of negatives. They're very strict with some situations, and that's how they get their rates lower. So is it a fit for everybody? Not necessarily, but they're ranked really high in the aspects of Texas. Partially because they're also good with young drivers. So they were ranked a 4.6 out of 5 stars, and according to JD Power, 846 out of 1,000. Not too shabby. Who's in the number 1 spot? That's USAA. They have been for years in most states that they insure, and they've been a very powerful, great company to go with. That being said, they're starting to lose a little bit of their edge. If you notice that they started to introduce their telematics system, I'll link the video here where it personally failed for me. And there's a couple things that they're falling behind because the world is going tech versions of insurance. The Lemonade insurances, the Root insurances, the Cover insurances, and all these apps that are starting to twist up the market a little bit and show that you can compare different companies without having to talk to somebody live. Now, there's a benefit to both sides, but USAA is a little bit lacking in that department as far as the newest version of tech to keep up with. On top of that, you can't even join them if you're not part of the military, or a family member of the military also get you in with them. They were ranked 4.7 out of 5 stars, 878 out of 1,000, and if you look up any rankings, they're usually not on the list just because that asterisk of having to be in the military knocks them out of the running in general. So how do you get the best rate with these companies? Well, there's one specific company that I've been using in a couple of my videos, and I explain, and there's a link below for them as well, but it's Cover. Cover Insurance is one of those apps or tech trends that is mainly in Texas. It's their kind of home state that they want to be in, and they're very powerful. So if you haven't seen the app, I don't know if it's showing there, I'll put it on the screen. Cover's that one go-to place where they're going to shop the majority of these companies on top of the other 20 some odd companies that they work with. So if you're looking for the best rate in Texas, Cover's going to give you that best option. Whoa, wait a minute. Why are you pushing these companies? I like Cover just because I've used it and I played with their app, and it's one of those few fun ones to go with because you don't have to physically call an agent. Apart from that, how do we get the best rates? So when you're looking at these and you're trying to get the best rate with insurance, there's a couple things that you need to know. Number one, what type of vehicle do you have? If it's newer, that's kind of a myth that that's going to cost more. It's the features of the newer car that cost more if it does, but the safety features is the biggest playing factor. If you have one that doesn't have a 5-star ranking, you're naturally going to pay more for the coverage. So if you're going to look at that, lean towards a car that you can definitely make sure that it's as safe as possible, because that gets you the best price. Color of the car doesn't matter, but the year does play a factor as far as if you need full coverage or not. So if you need the collision and the comprehensive, that's naturally going to raise the price that you pay about 20 to 30% more per month. Now I get it, the state of Texas doesn't require you to carry more than $30,000 for bodily injury. That way if you injure somebody, it's 30 per person and 60 per accident. So if there's multiple people in the car, you're covered up to 60. 30 is the max. The downfall to that is if you plan on having more money than that, and most of you do, it's the future income that you have to worry about. So in the scenario that we just went over, it's typically ranked on a scale of a 100/300. So it ups that 30 to 100,000 per person. That's probably one of the more common coverages. I personally like to go a little bit higher and go with the 250 and 500. Make sure you have the uninsured motorist, because in your state, there's about 14% that are driving without insurance. If you get hit by that person, injured by that person, and they take off, there's nobody to sue. So you're gonna have to add that additional protection for your vehicle as well as yourself in case that situation comes up. Now, I'm not going to go super into details because you have the PIP and you have the MedPay. Lean towards the PIP a little bit, but there's different options that you can go with. And whatever agent you go through, or if you go through the Cover app, it's going to naturally recommend the coverage that are average in the state. You have the option of working with the agent to change those, but those are just some of the things to look at as far as the coverages that you're going to lean towards. The next most powerful thing that you can do is a discount, which is the telematics. They do these plug-in devices that are now apps on your cell phone where they track your driving. Most companies will give you a 10% off up front and you don't lose it. So if you don't lose the discount, no matter how horrible you drive, you still get the discount. And in that situation, it makes sense to do it, even if you don't get a good score. If you do get a good score, you can get upwards of 30% off of your insurance just by them having you listed as a really good driver. That's a powerful tool that will give you the most off on top of the second most, or sometimes the most, is doing a multi-policy discount. So the second discount that you can lean towards is the multi-policy. Having renters and auto, home and auto, whatever the case is, you're gonna get anywhere from a 15 to a 25% discount just by having those. So sometimes if you're a renter or a homeowner, it could even be cheaper to combine them than it is just to buy the auto alone. Definitely something to check out, and check what prices options they're going to give you, because it might make sense to go that way. If you're younger, taking a driving course helps. Make sure the company that you go with offers a discount for that if that's the main goal. Not all companies in all states and all areas offer that discount available. The state will help you if you've had a ticket. You can take a defensive driving course and then let your insurance know that you took it so that you can help get that fixed on your insurance. It'll take the points off with the state. It won't remove remove it from your insurance, but if you take the driving course, it'll discount it, so it's not gonna affect you as much as it should. And then the last tip for you guys is how you guys pay the bill. If you have to pay monthly, that's what I personally do, but if you can pay it in full, you're gonna get a pretty large discount depending on the company. I've seen companies upwards of a few $100s less, where sometimes it's only $100. So check it out, tell them you wanna start the policy a week in advance so you get a small discount and then a paid in full discount on top of that, and you should be set to go. If you're a younger driver and you're looking for one of the better companies in Texas, I would recommend watching my younger drivers video where we talk about that. I also didn't mention the additional company that I wanted to add in this video, and that's Farm Bureau. When you are below the age of 25, Farm Bureau tends to come pretty competitive in Texas. I believe they're in the app, I'm not 100% sure, but you can check that out below if you're interested. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Have you been with any of these companies that we mentioned? What were your findings and what did you like or dislike about them? I'm curious to see what your options were and what you found. If you have questions or if you're looking for a specific answer to a question in Texas, let me know. I'd love to try to help whatever I can with. Otherwise, I'm Mark with Think Insurance. I'll see you in the next one.